he's all about, and they understand. And Justin McCarron's actually confirmed that for me. Coming here for his first year, he said, sometimes it's hard to get a feel for the coach to know if he's really telling you the truth. He said, when I talk to Herm Edwards, I know I'm getting the truth.
Yeah, and speaking with the Jets over the last 4 years, I mean, to a man, they've loved this guy. And his assistant coaches just love going to work as that pass is knocked down. You know, John, he's interesting. He comes up, you know, under Schottenheimer as an assistant, and then under Tony Dungy as the assistant head coach down there. But you know, he's like a revivalist in a way, too. I mean, just I can't think of another coach in the league that I would say, well, Herm's like this guy.
Well, you know, he's really coaching like an ex-player. You know, Herm, everything came tough for Herm. I mean, he had to work for everything. He was a free agent. You know, came in, made the team, played there at Philadelphia, played for 10 years, and nothing was ever easy. Nothing was ever given to him. And he had to work for everything. I think that players understand that, and he understands play. You know, it kind of goes back, without getting too philosophical, but you know, sometimes C students make the best teachers, because anyone can teach an A student. A students aren't always, you know, good teachers because they don't understand the C student.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, because he I think relates to he relates to everybody. He's got a wonderful demeanor, great personality, and again, you know, and then you forget that he is such a disciplined coach. 3rd and 10. And it goes back as Chambers makes the catch, what we talked about before. In the history of the NFL, among coaches who've coached 50 or more games, so you throw out the aberrations, Herm Edwards' teams have turned the ball over the fewest times of any coach, and he's right up among the leaders in fewest penalties. And right now his team is on its way to a 6-1 record to start this season.
And this is the 1st of November, and they always play well in November.
Yeah.
They haven't always gotten off to fast starts, but they've always played well in November.
The other interesting thing about Edwards is that normally it's a former head coach, at least on a college level, or a coordinator on the pro level or college level, who gets the job as a head coach. Herman Edwards is one of only 2 guys of the 32 head coaches in the league not to hold any of those positions. And that pass is incomplete, intended for Brian Gilmore. The other is Mike Tice, and there they are. And we asked Herm about it the other day, and he said, well, what about Andy Reid? Well, Andy Reid was actually the offensive coordinator at San Francisco State at one point in his career.
Under Vic Rowan.
So he actually held that title, but Herm never held a coordinator's title. Never was a head coach, very similar to Mike Tice, who we'll see next week on Monday night against Indianapolis.
But he was an assistant head coach at Tampa, and he said that Tony Dungy gave him a lot of head coaching responsibilities.
3rd down and 1. One of the great things about Herm is he knows really how to protect his players and take the heat off them. So he's done this a couple of times, but here's the most recent example last week after the New England loss.
My problem is that I don't walk in somebody else's house and say, well, the mood of the house was this. Because you don't know what the mood was, because you didn't walk in there after that game. Because none of you know how those players feel after a football game, because you're never in there when I address the team. Do I got a problem with that? Yeah, I got a problem with it.
He was responding to the fact there were a spate of stories about the Jets feeling pretty good about themselves, at least according to the stories, despite the loss to New England, because the guys were saying, you know, we hung with them, we only lost by 6, we had a chance to win the game and all of that. And then Herm took issue with that coverage, and there he went.
Yeah, and that was on Wednesday, too, and usually those things that come out on Wednesday are pretty much premeditated.
Sure. 1st and 5 from the 46-yard line. Fiedler been escaping all night, and then finally taken down by McGraw, who tried to punch the ball out, but Jay was able to hang on. 1st down. Dixville Notch. Well, is it? No, it's not quite midnight, but they get an early start. Marking their ballots, John. So they're voting for president, and they're also voting to see who's going to be on the horse trailer.
This guy here is all done. I mean, now
He's finished.
doing it and checking it again.
Yep. 26. They had 27 voters in 2000. 21 went for Bush, 5 went for Gore, and 1 for Nader 4 years ago. Here's Chambers.
How many are there tonight?
Well, there were 26 registered voters.
So they're all there.
Well, no, those were the results. They had 27 registered. Well, 27 people did vote in 2000.
No, and tonight they have 26 registered.
26 are registered.
And I wonder if all of them are there
That's
now.
a good question. Sammy Morris, we want everybody to stick around for that, because we're to that point. 41-7. Had a few of these.
You know, and you wonder, you know, how Miami can come back, you know, in their next game. I mean, you know, how do you get back off of something like this and get ready to play again? That's tough.
How do you? Dave Wanstead still trying to figure that one out.
No equipment needed. Only your hands and your heart. And according to the outcome, you will live 3 minutes of hell or 3 minutes of glory. Friday Night Fights on ESPN.
American League Championship Series MVP swings and drives this one. Hooked toward the foul pole. Is it fair or foul? It is gone. It's a home run for David Ortiz. Ground ball. That one jumps up and down the line out of the reach of Millar. Renteria is in. This game is tied. Walker to second. Another hit for Larry Walker. A double. Flies that one to right. Did he hook it too much? It's down the line. It strikes the foul pole. It's gone. It's gone. A 2-run homer from Bellhorn.
In front of ball in the division series.
Center field shot. Edmonds back. It's over his head. And it's up against the fence. 2 runs are in. Bellhorn strikes again.
Championship boxing on Friday Night Fights Special Edition. Undefeated one, Baby Bull Diaz defends his WBA lightweight title against the experience of Julian Bobo Lawsey, who's in search of his 41st knockout. Friday on ESPN.
Kevin Moreeeee, the celebration already starting on the Jets bench, as this one is well in hand with a 41-7 lead. Dolphins moving down the field. First and goal now from the 7-yard line. And Fiedler to the back of the end zone, but out of bounds. Brian Gilmore, the receiver. It'll be second down and goal.
You know, you see Kevin Moreeeee. You see him over there smiling, and you can realize why this was an offensive lineman's game. I mean, in the passing game, they only allowed 1 sack. They had 246 yards rushing. The average rush was 7.2 per carry. And that's when you go to bed at night, you're an offensive lineman, you dream of things like that.
Second and goal. Flag. Jets are offside. Of little solace to Jay Fiedler, who gets jumped on and sacked by John Abraham, but it won't count. That is, I mean, that's ignominy. You get a free play because the penalty is going to be on the
Offside.
defense.
Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And then you get your head taken off.
Right, and then the guy that gives you the free play also ends it like that for you. So you wonder, how free was that?
Bells are ringing free for Fiedler.
He's been that word all night. What is it, ignominy?
Ignominy, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good
ignominy.
word. I used to think it was a form of rock. Second down and goal from the 3-yard line. That's incomplete. Kevin Moreeeee mic'd up again. Have a listen.
Hey, John Madden, I want on the trailer. Me and my 5 compadres up front. Hey, put us on the trailer tonight. Put the whole line on the trailer. You hear us? Tell him. Hey, Jonathan Goodwin has something to say. Go on. Put the lineman on the trailer.
You know, John, that's illegal. You cannot campaign within 100 yards of a polling place.
I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, you know, 3rd and goal. It's a swing pass to Sammy Morris, and he gets taken down by Vilma. We did that with the Packers.
We invite you to check your local listings for the next edition of Sports Center in your area. We'll have all the highlights, all the scores, all the latest news on your next edition of Sports Center. Now let's get back to Monday Night Football, where the Jets are doing it to the Dolphins.
Let Martin divvy up the spoils. It's the same thing. You put Martin on with the offensive lineman.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for that. You know, when someone says do it, I'm a sucker to do it. So, like someone like you to say no.
Oh, thanks. Terrell Buckley with the interception. So the former Dolphin, the former everything, Terrell Buckley picks one off in the end zone.
You see what he did? He did a golf swing there. I saw him earlier during a timeout. Terrell Buckley was warming up like stretching with a golf swing. First time I've ever seen it in the NFL.
49th of his career.
Each week, ESPN has your ticket for the best in sports. Mondays, fulfill your need for speed as we bring you the best in two-wheel, open-wheel, and off-road racing. Thursdays are action sports days with the wildest moments of X Games and beyond. And remember, ESPN is always your home for the great outdoors with hunting, lumberjacking, and some of the biggest fish you've ever seen. The best in sports each week, only on ESPN. College football fans, rejoice! Now you can watch over 150 of the best matchups from the best conferences right on your computer. Just log on to ESPN.com and click on the ESPN Game Plan logo. You're on your way to over 150 of the best games. Sign up for a weekly subscription for the entire season. Watch games live, watch games that are archived, or watch the highlights. It's a college football fan's dream come true. Log on to ESPN.com, click on the Game Plan logo, or search Game Plan.
The march to the ultimate prize of European football continues on ESPN with Group Stage 1, Match Day 4 of the UEFA Champions League. Live tonight, Panathinaikos takes on one of the hottest clubs in the world, the Gunners of Arsenal. In the game of the day, Barcelona battles AC Milan. And later, Moscow battles Chelsea. The games continue. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Join ESPN for coverage of the 2004-2005 UEFA Champions League season as Barcelona battles AC Milan in Match Day 4 action.
He has about a 42-footer right to left. And got it.
That is a first.
That's beautiful. You know, he doesn't even take like a full golf swing. It's a putt.
It's a putt, and then probably next week someone will steal his dance.
Maybe Terrell Owens.
Did you ever think football would get to that a lead story in a game on a team that's undefeated, the lead story would be that one player stole another player's dance?
Unbelievable. Yeah, we have our priorities in order. Quincy Carter, meanwhile, is in the game. Last year's Dallas starting quarterback, who was picked up after Dallas let him go, shockingly, in training camp, and is the backup to Pennington. So Carter played his college ball at Georgia in the game, and Lamont Jordan's big night continues with 5.5 to play. In Dixville Notch at midnight, in about 5 minutes, they can drop their ballots into the ballot box, and as you can see, they're voting for president, governor, one of their U.S. senator, and congressman. 17 voters are there. 9 absentee ballots have already been cast. There it is, John. First votes to be cast in the election at the stroke of midnight. 3rd down and 2. Catch is made by Gerald Soule. And he's taken down over the 36-yard line. 1st down.
The old backdoor bootleg. You fake one way and then you bring your fullback out the opposite side or the back door, and then you just give it to him right there. No one on this side cares anymore, do they? Here's Gerald Soule. He's going to come there, and then he's going to come back. See, everyone goes to the right. Gerald Soule comes out the back door to the left.
That was one sullen bench. 1st and 10. Up at the 36. DJ Askew, his first carry, and they just keep on coming out of the backfield. Michelle.
Well, you're talking about Lamont Jordan, Al. He came into camp this year and said he didn't have a good attitude. And he said it wasn't because of his contract, it was because of some internal things. But he let it affect his conduct in camp. He later took some time off, came back to camp, and apologized to Herm Edwards, saying, I apologize for my conduct. I'm a competitive guy. I want more carries. But he also said he just had to come to the realization he's a professional football player, and he had to accept his role. He said, I'm a backup to a future Hall of Fame running back. I've got to accept that. And when I do get out on the field, just make sure the coaches don't want to pull me back off again.
That backup has equaled the future Hall of Famers numbers tonight with 115, and Askew carries here. And Askew in a relief role is now carried for 19. Pennington is 22. Jets have on the ground tonight just annihilated the Miami Dolphins. First time since 75. Riggins and Garrett, 2 backs for the Jets, going over 100 yards.
I think the Jets really have their identity now, that they are a running team, and off that running they will go play action pass and take some shots and bootleg.
2nd and 7. Askew again.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get so carried away. We need explosive plays. Yeah, Chad Pennington has to throw the ball down the field and all those things. That you get away from what you really are. And if you stay with what you really are, you're pretty doggone good.
Malibu Kelly Hayes was pointing out to me that Miami, Florida, and Florida State all lost on Saturday. First time that's happened since 1978. And now you can throw the Dolphins into that mix, getting beaten up at the Meadowlands. There's always the heat. They'll open this week. 2-minute warning. Jets 41, Miami 7.
Each week, ESPN has your ticket for the best in sports. Mondays, fulfill your need for speed as we bring you the best in 2-wheel, open-wheel, and off-road racing. Thursdays are action sports days with the wildest moments of X Games and beyond. And remember, ESPN is always your home for the great outdoors with hunting, lumberjacking, and some of the biggest fish you've ever seen. The best in sports each week, only on ESPN.
It's been a big week in the football world with the UEFA Champions League taking centre stage. Reflections on match day 4 and a lot more coming up on the next edition of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass. That's on Friday on ESPN.
We invite you to join us for Week 9 of Sunday Night Football here on ESPN. The Cleveland Browns at 3-4 take on the Baltimore Ravens at 4-3 in the battle of the middle of the AFC North. If either of these teams got their sights set on a possible playoff run, a victory in Week 9, it would be an important thing. Check it out, the Browns and the Ravens coming up on Sunday Night Football this weekend.
.com postgame show coming up next. Passes tonight. When he's gone deep, he's been effective. Martin and Jordan on the ground. Curtis doing the heavy lifting early, and then Jordan over 100 yards late. Dolphin offense tonight. 202 yards. Nothing to write home about. You know, it's a great time, John, to be a New York football fan. I mean, the Giants, big win yesterday at Minnesota. Jets, 6-1, hot in the Meadowlands.
You know, I think someone asked me once the biggest surprise team to me, and it was the New York Giants when they lost that first game to Philadelphia. I thought they were one of the worst teams that I've ever seen, and then they come back to be very, very good.
Midnight, there it is live. The ballots being placed in the ballot box. It's actually a little bit early. Post time at 11:58. Zach Thomas making the stop here. That's like it's a Rockwell painting, isn't it? The guys there in the bow tie. Folks are coming in, putting the handwritten. I think they tell me up there no chads and computers or punch cards and all that. You check it with a pencil or a pen.
No, they have an oval. That's the way I voted absentee, and they have an oval, and you have to fill in the oval with a ballpoint pen. I think it's probably the same type of thing.
Knowing you, it's a ballpoint pen from the rich, right?
Yes, it is.
You only have about 8,000 of them.
They stopped on fourth down. It was a pink oval that I could hardly see.
They're telling us that the whole town has voted.
It's been accounted for.
Fred Godelli, our producer, proud to announce we'll have the early results for you.
We have the legal right to vote
on the Autotrader.com post-game show. The results of this game are just about official. You know, John, I was thinking about this last week. If you were the president, you realize the money that could be saved on Air Force One as Fiedler throws downfield. That's incomplete. So you'd have like the Cruiser, Madden Cruiser 1.
And we'd make up for it in food.
Yes, you would.
Everything we saved in the airplane we'd eat.
That'd be a great scene. I mean, you'd have to campaign like within a 200-mile radius.
I'll leave that to those other guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not trading this job in.
No, you can't beat this.
2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line.
Next Monday night in Indianapolis, and the Vikings and the Colts, that's going to be pretty good.
Chris Chambers makes the catch as the seconds tick down, and the New York Jets can think about the rest of their schedule. Herman Edwards and the guys. Next week, they go to Buffalo, then Baltimore comes here, and then they go to Cleveland. And for Miami, they'll limp home and take on the Arizona Cardinals, who haven't won on the road in 2 years, in Miami next Sunday. 3rd down and 1. Sammy Morris. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, if I were Miami, I'd just let the clock run out. I mean,
sure.
there's no reason to prolong this. I mean, if someone were to get hurt on this play, this is just dumb.
These two teams have been meeting for a lot of years. This will be the biggest margin of victory for the Jets over the Dolphins ever. 34 points at the moment.
You know, I've never understood this. I mean, you're down 41-7. I mean, there's no way you're going to win the game. Why prolong it?
Yeah.
And someone say, oh, they gave up. That's not quitting. It's just making sense. I mean, let's just put out the fire and call in the dogs. The hunt's over.
Get on the plane already. 275 yards rushing for the Jets. Most rushing yards by any team in any game this season. 115 for Martin, 115 for Jordan. And that is caught for a touchdown by Darius Thompson at the end of the game. 29 yards.
Yeah, they just have one shot. I mean, this is what you would do at the end of the game or the end of the half, and Darius Johnson just runs into the end zone, and Jay Fiedler throws it up to him, and he catches it.
Still the biggest margin for the Jets in this series. Well, this game, as we know, is over. early in the fourth quarter, and it was over. You other folks know what I mean, and I know you do. So that touchdown barely mattered. 41-14 with the symmetry in that at the end of the game. Herman Edwards, great start. Dave watched that. Well, we've detailed it. All of the things that have happened to the Dolphins and that Williams retirement.
So the New York Jets get back on the winning track after a loss last week. They win big 41-14 over the Dolphins on Monday Night Football, run their record to 6-1. The Dolphins are 1-7. SportsCenter's coming up for our Latin American audience. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League. Today on NFL's Greatest Moments, the Crunch Chronicles, a crash course in the School of Hard Knocks.
Each week, ESPN has your ticket for the best in sports. Mondays, fulfill your need for speed as we bring you the best in two-wheel, open-wheel, and off-road racing. Thursdays are action sports days with the wildest moments of X Games and beyond. And remember, ESPN is always your home for the great outdoors with hunting, lumberjacking, and some of the biggest fish you've ever seen. The best in sports each week, only on ESPN.
I'm two-time U.S. Nationals champ Larry Dixon, and this is another U.S. Nationals memory. 1967, after failing to qualify for the first two national events of the season, Big Daddy Don Garlitz vowed not to shave his beard until he ran in the 6-second zone. He got that first ever run in the sixes when he needed it the most in the finals of the 67 U.S. Nationals. 20,000 fans watched as Rip Van Garlitz finally shaved that beard off in the winner's circle.
Your home for the thrills and spills of motorsports all season long is ESPN.
What's it like to stand in the pocket when someone delivers the hit? Next on NFL's Greatest Moments.
3 seconds. That's how long a quarterback has between the snap of the ball and the moment of impact.
You know, in your head, you kind of have this little clock.
You do feel the pressure around you.
All these warriors are fighting around him.
1 second, 1,000.
They don't see the guy coming.
You just sense something's on its way. 2 seconds, 2,000. You got guys moving all in front of you. Hands are trying to get to your face.
Boy, yeah, I got a chance to cut this guy in half.
3 seconds, 3,000.
They're getting closer and closer to you. You're about to accept a blow. I got him. He's right there. Got him. You got that perfect shot. I got him. And you take it. Bam! Welcome home, baby. I got it.
You just get this feeling, oh my gosh. I mean, you just gonna go, oh, wow. I hope he gets up.
When the blitz is coming and you know you're going to get it, that's when it takes courage, because you're defenseless. It doesn't take courage to be on the other side of the ball. I think it's as much courage to stand in there and know that some guy like Warren Sapp's going to come pouring in there. If you hold on to the ball a half a second too long, you're going to get it.
What I always told people, and they say, you know, all those big guys coming at you, and I always said, I'll tell you what to do. I'm 230 pounds. Stand about 10 yards over there and just turn your back to me and let me take a full-blown head start. I'm not going to tell you I'm coming. And let me just drill you right in the middle of your back. Say if your number is 12, right between a 1 and a 2. Let's make it 1.2. Hit that decimal point right there.
And there's nothing like the moment before the moment of impact. Minutes roll by in a split second. A lifetime goes through your head. Everything seems to just slow down.
I draw a bead on that particular area in which I intend to hit him. And I was closing in on Jeff George, and for some reason or another, he just looked my way. And he looked into my eyes and said, oh.
Everything rattles. I mean, you get up sometimes and you're looking at a teammate and there's 4 of them and they're all moving side to side. And you're trying to pick out the one that, you know, is real, and you're like, oh my God.
I did get Avellini from the Chicago Bears. Walter Payton forgot to block me, and I hit him from behind. And what hurt him was that the ball was in between him and the artificial turf, and that knocked the wind out of him.
There are sacks that you see coming. There are sacks that you don't see coming. The blindside sack probably hurt the most. I think my back, my lower back, still reminds me of some of those.
You don't actually feel the impact until after you try to get up. You know, if you're trying to get up, that's when it's tough. You know, I was hit by Greg Lloyd one time, and he just nailed me real good. The whole wind and everything went right out of me, and I tried to get up, and I couldn't, and I wanted to say something to him. I couldn't talk.
And of course, you know, there's games that you did get beat on, but you'll never, ever make it in the league as a quarterback if you worry about those guys.
Well, if you never stood in there, it'd probably frighten the mess out of you.
I don't know if you've ever been out in the woods late at night, maybe scared that someone's chasing you, and you just kind of feel somebody behind you all the time, so you kind of walk faster and faster. It's sometimes hard with the arms waving and everything to see a lot of stuff. It'd be like being in a forest, but the trees are coming after you.
Sort of you being sort of in the elevator, a closed environment with speakers around you, and the music is just blasted, and you're trying to get the ball out as quick as possible.
You sense bodies moving around. Internal clock's telling you got about another half second and the ball's got to come out. It's like sort of a controlled chaos in that pocket. You know, any time it's going to break down, you're going to get hit.
Had to be in situations where guys weren't close to me, guys were close to me, guys were falling on my legs, guys were hitting me in my chest as I threw the football.
You find some quarterbacks that are kind of level-headed, trying to find holes to run through. I think the big-time quarterbacks are able to sit in the pocket, always keep your head up, and looking for guys downfield to make the big plays and be able to buy the extra time to make the throw downfield.
When things are going bad, when you're taking a lot of hits, even the toughest guy, sometimes maybe you peek down at the rush, and if you feel you're getting hit, you might try to take a peek down, see where it's coming from, and see if you can sidestep it. Nobody likes to get hit out there. So you can't sit back there and think you're gonna look pretty and just throw the ball downfield and score touchdowns. It just doesn't happen that way.
Ironically, none have more respect for quarterbacks than the very men who hunt them down.
I don't know how he does it. I really don't. But the great ones do it. The great ones do it. The great ones have a feel for it.
Here comes the blitz. He steps away from it and lets the pass go on. He's going for a touchdown.
It has to be hard to stand there and have a guy just tee off on you. I look at Brett Favre. Brett will get up and attack you just like you attacked him. He's not going to lay down. He's going to dish some back. Peyton Manning's another guy. That guy gets up. And you take your hat off to a quarterback like that. You know, that's the type of quarterback that you want playing for you. And to hit those quarterbacks and for them to get up, and after some of the shots that they take, I don't know if they know where they are, but they're some tough guys.
Defensive backs prove it's better to give than receive as we take you over the middle when NFL's greatest moments returns.
Each week, ESPN has your ticket for the best in sports. Mondays, fulfill your need for speed as we bring you the best in two-wheel, open-wheel, and off-road racing. Thursdays are action sports days with the wildest moments of X Games and beyond. And remember, ESPN is always your home for the great outdoors with hunting, lumberjacking, and some of the biggest fish you've ever seen. The best in sports each week, only on ESPN.
I'm two-time U.S. Nationals champ Larry Dixon, and this is another U.S. Nationals memory. 1967. After failing to qualify for the first two national events of the season, Big Daddy Don Garlitz vowed not to shave his beard until he ran in the 6-second zone. He got that first ever run in the sixes when he needed it the most in the finals of the 67 U.S. Nationals. 20,000 fans watched as Rip Van Garlitz finally shaved that beard off in the winner's circle.
Your home for the thrills and spills of motorsports all season long is ESPN.
Cut line 80 flares at -4. He needs a few of those, Roger, because he's trying to get into that. To the Chiefs, no one else has cracked 100. 3rd and 9. Misdirection.
Either tie this game or take the lead. Fiedler to throw.
Got it complete. That's Chambers, and he is gone. Count it down, Miami. Here comes your first victory.
3rd and 16. Palmer will take his first snap out of the shotgun. Under pressure, steps up, going deep and wide open. Chan Johnson from the 36-yard line. Rudy Johnson is free. He's inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
We're back and heading to the place where the fearless meets the ferocious on NFL's greatest moments.
Going across the middle is a scary adventure. You know, you got to have some courage. You have to understand one thing. You are going to get hit.
He has no gravity whatsoever. You can hit him anywhere, and it's going to be like a ragdoll tumble.
Can you describe the sound of a hit
when a receiver's going over the middle.
I've only heard it like you've heard it from a distance.
The best hits, it's like hitting a home run. When you hit back in the baseball days, you hit a home run right on that sweet spot. You don't feel it, it just feels so pure. And the same way with hitting, when you really get a good one, you don't feel anything. It's just kind of a sense of it's a rush.
You get coaches telling, guys, you got to be tough, you got to catch balls over the middle. Don't believe that. If they throw you a bad ball over the middle, let it go, because you're going to get killed. First of all, that was my job, to protect the middle of the field, and I really took a dislike to receivers feeling that they could come over the middle and catch a ball. It was just something that we didn't allow.
First thing I'm trying to think is what Ray Rhodes used to tell me. Ray Rhodes was my defensive back coach at the 49ers early in my career, and he said, hey, look, you got to deliver a woo hit. You got to deliver a woo hit, and that means when the crowd goes woo. So if any time the ball came across the middle, you got to try to destroy the person. Why? Is because the game is about measuring a person's soul. You got to figure out a way to defeat that. And the only way you can defeat that is giving your best shot. Because if you don't, he's not going to respect you. And if he doesn't respect you, therefore he's going to get up and he's going to feel like, heck, he owns the middle. I've always felt that the way to take that away from him, that he doesn't own the middle, is to make sure that I get into his soul. And the only way you can get into someone's soul is you got to hit him hard.
I played college at Stanford, and Ronnie Lott was still playing at San Fran at the time. Ronnie Lott used to try to envision not just hitting the guy, you hit through him. Like they talk about that in baseball too. You don't hit the ball, you hit through the ball. And so sometimes I'll try to see almost like four guys, right behind each other, and I'm trying to hit all the way through that fourth guy.
When you're a DB, strangely, people think you want that big hit. But usually when you get the big hit, it means you were just a little bit late. And I know a couple of the biggest ones I've ever had, I just thought to myself, I should have gotten there. That was my play. That was my interception. And now all that happened is the guy's got a little bit of a headache.
Go for the pick. Go for the pick. Go for the pick.
There is a split second where you're, as a defensive back, you're either going to decide to hit the wide receiver, knock the pass down, or intercept it. That split second, I don't know if you're in Never Never Land. It's not a blur, but it happens so quick that it's all reaction.
That same split second is also vital to the success and safety of a receiver.
I worked with several quarterbacks who timed up very well with me and gave me the football that split second, just as I was making my break into the pattern to turn into middle. And that came from a lot of intensive work on the practice field. Running those patterns over and over. It becomes so second nature to a quarterback who sees a receiver's movements from behind that he can detect it and he can release the football. The ball had to be coming at a precise moment, because if I drifted a hair or two into the middle, farther than I would like to go, I would be obliterated. Fortunately for me, I was never left to be hung out to dry.
Did I ever hang somebody out to dry? I hung more guys out to dry than I'd like to, and I want to apologize to every one of them and know that it wasn't intentional. You never intentionally want to throw the ball high over the middle and expose somebody's ribs.
One time, Clayton broke his ribs pretty bad, missed a couple weeks. It was because of the, it's where I threw the ball. He got extended way up, had his hands up, and just took a big shot. And the only thing you can say is you're sorry. I mean, you feel bad, and I told him I was sorry, but it happens.
You try to protect them, of course, but let them drop two passes at it right in their hands. See where that next pass is going to be. Maybe a little bit high. Just kidding. Right, baby?
When the ball is thrown and you're stretching out for it like Yancey. In '97, we played against the Arizona Cardinals. and I threw the ball late across the middle, and the safety was over there, but thinking I could get it there quick, and I let him out there. And he ain't rung his bell, ding dong. I do have to go up and apologize and give the guys hugs and let them know, you know, it's gonna be all right, I'm sorry, don't hurt me, don't kill me. As long as I can see you're looking at me and you're conscious and you're capable of getting up, hey, I'm pretty much not worrying about it because it's a game of football and you're gonna get hit. But I don't want to put them in those situations because it doesn't feel too good at all, believe me.
Receivers who venture into football's high-rent district know they are going to pay. And they often must decide which is worse, to lose their nerve or their head.
Receivers take pride. They take a big lick. They want to get up and clap and get excited and show you that they're not hurt. But you watch them later on in the ball game. Those arms get a little bit shorter as they come across the middle.
You know when you've got someone worn down mentally, and when the fourth quarter comes around and they aren't so sure because they've come in there and they've been tattooed, you know, by 3 different guys converging on them. You know, as a defensive back, as a linebacker, that's what you want to put that fear in them. It sounds brutal, but it's a brutal game.
That's the beauty of the game, trying to own the middle. If you own the middle, the offense has to do something else. They're going to try you, but if you get a woo, they're not going to try too often. I still get my woo. If I see Laura Malloy hit somebody, I still get a woo. That's how you protect the middle. Didn't change when Buckus played the game. Didn't change when Lambert played the game. It didn't change when Jack Tatum played the game. And it hasn't changed now. And for years and years and years and years and years and years, as this game moves on, it's only one way to do that on the defensive side. You got to destroy your opponent.
Each week, ESPN has your ticket for the best in sports. Mondays, fulfill your need for speed as we bring you the best in two-wheel, open-wheel, and off-road racing. Thursdays are action sports days with the wildest moments of X Games and beyond. And remember, ESPN is always your home for the great outdoors with hunting, lumberjacking, and some of the biggest fish you've ever seen. The best in sports each week, only on ESPN.
I'm two-time U.S. Nationals champ Larry Dixon, and this is another U.S. Nationals memory. 1967, after failing to qualify for the first 2 national events of the season, Big Daddy Don Garlitz vowed not to shave his beard until he ran in the 6-second zone. He got that first ever run in the 6s when he needed it the most, in the finals of the 67 U.S. Nationals. 20,000 fans watched as Rip Van Garlitz finally shaved that beard off in the winner's circle.
Your home for the thrills and spills of motorsports all season long is ESPN.